Good evening. You're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. Urgent precautionary measures are taken by the Directorate of Agriculture and Fisheries Wealth in the Governorate of Bami to verify the existence of hemorrhagic fever Congo in a livestock farm. The Ministry of Higher Education announces the postponement of registration period for National Postgraduate Scholarship Program. The British Prime Minister says that he would hold a referendum on Britain's membership of the European Union on June 23rd. Live from the news center of the Sultanate of Oman television, here are the details of tonight's news. Urgent precautionary measures were taken by the Directorate of Agriculture and Fisheries Wealth in the Governorate of Bami to verify the existence of Congo hemorrhagic fever in a livestock farm in the Governorate. The farm was put under quarantine. A specialized team commenced taking random samples from all burns in the farm. This measure came after the death of a citizen suspected of buying an animal affected by this disease from his farm. However, the concerned bodies affirmed that these can be only verified after having the results of laboratory tests. The Ministry of Higher Education announced the postponement of registration period for a National Postgraduate Scholarship Program. It will start from Tuesday, the 1st of March till the 30th of May instead of starting tomorrow, Sunday. The announcement also states that the postponement came to give those who wish to compete for these scholarships more time to prepare all needed documents and requirements. Earlier, the Ministry of Higher Education announced about 215 scholarships for postgraduate studies as part of the National Postgraduate Scholarship Program for the academic year 2016-2017. Under the title My Father, His Life and Legacy, a book that entails the contribution of a great educationalist in Oman was launched under the auspices of His Excellency Dr. Abdul Mun'im Al-Hsani at Grand Hyatt Muscat yesterday. I have this report as I was at the event. A number of scholars and intellectuals gathered in a special ceremony with the presence of their excellencies and a large number of public to witness the launching of the book that narrates a successful story of the late Sheikh Amr bin Ali al-Marhubi, written by his son Muhammad al-Marhubi. Sheikh Amr's vast scholarly achievements and contributions to the Oman's educational system and the contribution to the Ministry of Information under the wise leadership of His Majesty Sultan Qaboos is well recognized. During the ceremony, some of the people who either worked with him or associated with him presented to the audience their insight that demonstrated Sheikh Amr's extraordinary personality he possessed.
For this man has left behind hundreds of descendants and thousands of others whose lives he helped to shape and change. A lot of you here will be involved in that. The real objective of my writing this book was to make sure that the man gets the credit and the recognition that he so rightly deserves. He dedicated more than 60 years of his life.
Great man of countless achievements. He was energetic and well determined to go the extra mile. He was a man that valued education and the development of his beloved country.
Sheikh Amr was a teacher, a coach, a mentor, and a superb leader. Sheikh Amr was a role model of leadership and not a manager, because I always contend that there is no such thing as human resource management. Human resources are to be guided and led. They are not to be managed. So in that score, Sheikh Amur was indeed a great leader.
Sheikh Amur has left his mark in the history of the Sultanate of Oman, a man whose memory will be cherished by students, graduates, colleagues, and all who came in contact with him, both in Oman and abroad. Prime Minister David Cameron said today that he would hold a referendum on Britain's membership of the European Union on June 23rd. Cameron said he will go to the Parliament and propose that the British people decide their future in Europe through an outer referendum on Thursday, the 23rd of June. He believed that Britain will be safer and stronger and better off in a reformed European Union. Cameron, speaking outside his number 10 Downing Street's residence, clinched a deal with other European Union leaders at a summit in Brussels, which he hopes will keep the country in the bloc. He met with his cabinet this morning, which agreed that the government's position would be to recommend that Britain remains in the European Union. Turkey ruled out unilateral military action in Syria as Russia asked the United Nations Security Council to call for Syria's sovereignty to be respected, for cross-border shelling and incursions to be halted, and for attempts or plans for foreign ground intervention to be abandoned. Russia circulated a short draft resolution to the 15-member Council of Concerns about an escalation in hostilities after Turkey this week said it and other countries could commit ground troops to Syria. The Security Council met on yesterday to discuss the draft, but veto powers, the United States, France and Britain all said it had no future. After the meeting, Turkey's ambassadors to the United Nations, Hel Sevik, said Turkey would not go into Syria alone. You're watching the Sultanate of Oman television, and still to come in our news bulletin. The Wilayah of Nakhal witnesses an active touristic movement after the heavy rainfall. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. France immediately rejected demanding an immediate halt to cross-border shelling and foreign ground intervention in Syria, warning that a dangerous military escalation could spiral out of control. Russia called an emergency Security Council meeting earlier in the day to submit a draft resolution calling on Turkey to cease any actions that undermine Syria's sovereignty and territorial integrity. The Russian draft resolution didn't name Turkey, but it was clearly aimed at the Turkish government, which has threatened ground action and was keeping up its cross-border artillery shelling campaign against Syria's Kurdish militia position in Syria. U.S. Ambassador Samantha Power called the Russian draft a distraction and urged Moscow instead to implement a resolution adopted unanimously by the Security Council in December, endorsing a peace plan for Syria that includes a cessation of hostilities and negotiations between the government and opposition. The Prime Minister of the Libyan government of the National Accord, Fayez Sarraj, reviews today the work of his government at the headquarters of Libyan internationally recognized Council of Deputies. Sarraj will give necessary explanations to the members of the Council about the proposed cabinet formation. He will also review the new Libyan government program and the new ministers. Last Sunday, a new formation for the government of the National Accord was announced that included 18 ministers. Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump called for a boycott of Apple Incorporated products until the tech company agrees to help the U.S. government unlock the cell phone of one of the killers in the San Bernardino, California attack. Trump made the off-the-cuff comment at the town hall-style event in Pawleys Island a day before that state's Republican presidential nominating contest. The Republican frontrunner in the 2016 White House race has been a frequent critic of Apple and called on the company to make more products in the United States. His latest comments came as the U.S. Department of Justice filed a motion seeking to force Apple to comply with the judge's order for the company to unlock the iPhone belonging to one of the San Bernardino shooters, portraying the tech company's refusal as a marketing strategy. The filing escalated a showdown between the Obama administration and Silicon Valley over security and privacy that ignited earlier this week.
Thank you. God bless you and good night.
Fiji declared a nationwide curfew today as airlines suspended flights and the Prime Minister warned people to seek refuge from a cyclone that could prove to be the Pacific Island nation's most powerful on record. After twice hammering outlying islands in nearby Tonga last week, Cyclone Winston re-intensified and began to track west towards Suva, the capital of Fiji, packing winds of 230 kilometers per hour with gusts of up to 325 kilometers per hour. A video footage showed trees swaying in the strong winds and heavy rain. The Wilayah of Nakhal witnessed an active touristic movement from inside and outside the Sultanate after the heavy rainfall during the last few days on various wilayas of the Governorate of South Al-Batina. While enjoying the beautiful scenery of the Falages and the greenery surrounding the area, the visitors had a good time at Ain Al-Thawara in the Wilayah of Nakhal. The rains also helped to rise the level of underground water as well as the Falages. And now for the general weather forecast. Clear skies will prevail over the Sultanate with chances of low clouds and fog late night and early morning in the governorates of Al-Wusta, South Sharqiya and the coastal areas of the Far. Winds will be north to northeasterly light to moderate on the areas overlooking Sea of Oman and Arabian Sea. Along the rest of the governorates, it will be northwesterly light to moderate. Seas will be moderate along the coast of the governorate of the Far and South Sharqiya Sea of Oman with a maximum wave height of 1.5 meters, while along the rest of the coast, it will be slight with a maximum wave height of 1.25 meters. You're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. Urgent precautionary measures are taken by the Directorate of Agriculture and Fisheries Wealth in the Governorate of Bami to verify the existence of hemorrhagic fever Congo in a livestock farm. Ministry of Higher Education announces the postponement of registration period for a national postgraduate scholarship program. British Prime Minister says that he would hold a referendum on Britain's membership of the European Union on June 23rd. And with that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin, brought to you live from the Sultanate of Oman television.